guys, welcome to CodeView. And so today I'm going to discuss one of the very debatable questions on the internet and in the software industry, right? Should a person or should I choose a startup or a well-established company for my if I'm joining a if I'm starting a career or somewhere if I'm switching a job, right? So I'm going to as I am part of both type of organizations, so like I will be having experience while working in a startup and as well as in a well-established company. So first, I will tell you some differences. Which type of companies I'm calling a startup here, or in the market, what type of companies are called as a startup, right? So startup a company which has been started like which are in the business for a few years, like 3 4 years, or we can say 5 years. And I'm calling a established company who will be part of the market in for 100 years, 50 years, 15 years, or 20 years, right? So it depends on the choices of the person, what type of setup you want, right? But here, there is one guarantee: we should always focus where we are getting the good learning. So when you working in a well-established company, the learning scope can be 50-50. Sometimes you are only given the task to maintain the maintenance work, that will call that fixing of bug, or there will be few developments only, right? But if you're joining a startup company and you have to do everything from scratch, right? Because this is new and all the setup is will be very new. So you only will be the person to there is a lot of chances for you to get the things from the beginning, right? So there are few chances, but yeah. And as I've been working in a startup also, my last company. So what I will value here, the culture is always the main thing while for the company, right? So sometimes you will get the cool culture, good environment, good setup in a startup as well, right? Because they also need to attract good minds from the market, so they have to maintain. But yeah, learning and culture should be the main focus while working. So I'm going to talk about few of the pros and cons. I will talk later, but first let's discuss the pros while working in a startup, right? So first thing, when working, you are joining a startup, what you will get? You will get the ownership. So as in a startup there will be very few members, right? And if you talk about any service company or well established company, there will be a lot of members involved for a single project or single task. But in a startup there will be few members, and sometimes I have seen the hierarchy is very flat. You are directly talking to your CTO or head of engineering, like that, right? But if you are working in a company where there are let's say there are 10,000 team members, so there the chances for you to talk to your upper management will be less, right? So ownership, that will be the advantage you are getting, and you will be handling maybe if your project is a microservice success, you will be handling 2 3 microservices by your own. So you have to take care of end to end functionality and end to end working thing for that project, right? So you will be learning ownership. That is very rare. Rarely it is possible in a well established company. Responsibility is that sometimes you will be fully responsible. You cannot because you are going to develop that particular project. So everything it is, whenever it is down or there is a bug happen, so you will be only responsible for that particular project. So these things, exposure I'm talking about here. So in a large company, when someone is getting hired for particular technology. So if you're not aware of, you are working in a well established company, you're not about that particular technology, you will be given some time, or they will hire new person to for that particular technology to work on, right? But here you will get lot of exposure for the new technology as well. So sometimes you have got a new requirement from product, or your current service or current project is requiring new technology that is going to be good for your current task. So always it is advisable from the management that you have to work in the best interest of that particular project, so that it will behave and it will serve good for the people, right? For the customer you are serving to. So that's why way you have to always ready to get out of comfort zone, because you have to serve the best way for that, for the company you have to work in that way always, right? And either you are a fresher or experienced in a startup, or you are newly joined, or you have anything that adding the value to the project or the company, your voice will be heard to the level of CEO as well. So you always like like your ideas will be heard, and you will, and if you are, there will be very lot of chances that you also get notified, or you get visibility for the higher management. So this is the one of the big advantage that is not possible in the very large organization. Learning curve is going to be high. I discussed in the uh, previous slides as well, in the previous talk. So learning curve going to be high. There is future aspiration if you want to start your own business. So definitely you should work in a startup, so that you can get all the uh, all the elements that a startup needs, right? You will be what we can say, you will be interacting with all different teams, because you there will not a large number of people who is going to work with you, right? So you will be responsible for a lot of tasks. You are going to interact with other teams like UI, product, backend, customer support, and digital market. So all these teams you have, so you will get to know what are the tools available in the market, what are the challenges that people are facing in the different uh, teams, right? So all these things will be very beneficial, and you also will get involved. I'm remembering some of the things. I was a backend developer, but I was interacting with the digital marketing team for their tools. If Because they will not be a technical person, right? So you have to provide everything. I was interacting with the product, I'm interacting with the UI, right? Sometimes your service, backend service is behaving good, but your UI is not interacting, so we have to sit together and resolve the issues. Also sometimes you are using any third party application. So in a different example I'm sharing it. So I was using some of the different third party uh, applications, and we will be aware of the cost that we are getting for using those services, right? So we will be know that how much I'm paying for that third party vendor, everything. So that's why I'm telling that for future inspiration, if you have want to open your own startup, or you want to work, uh, or you want to be part of some, what we can say, in any businesses, so you will be aware of what type of challenges there will be, what type of challenges you can face, right? So, and the one thing I will be adding this, the startup will be paid, in a startup you will be paid more. Also there are you always have heard about the ESOP, right? Employee stock option. So whenever you are started working in a very newly startup, series A or series B funded or seed funded, so you will be given ESOP, uh, and your salary and ESOP components will be your overall CTC. So mainly ESOP components can add. lot of value creation if your company is getting listed in the next 4 5 years or in 10 years span of time, because if company is doing well and you are also be part of in the growth of that company, right? So ESOP can add lot of value creation. So these are the few advantages working in a startup. But now I'm going to share with you what are the cons of working. So that cons for a, like if you are starting your career, then I will say it is not a cons for you. But if someone is very experienced, like 8 years, 9 years experience, for them it will be a little tough if they are going to work now in a startup, because work-life balance will be challenged, right? And because whenever you are working a startup, it requires a lot of dedication, and you have to consider your own thing. That will be a little bit possible, so little bit, not every time, but yeah, it will be a little hectic for you to manage family and other things. So I think one cons. And also sometimes culture also, like if your management is very, what we can say, they have lot of aspirations in a very less time, right? So nowadays it's not happening what I'm seeing, but yeah, this could also be challenged. You have to deliver a lot of modules, lot of projects in a very uh, early, not in a very less time frame. So those are the challenges. Well, yeah, but I will suggest everyone, if you are starting your career, you should definitely try working in a startup in a very early stage of your career. So yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching this video, and let me know in the comment section if you have any question related to this. I will